It was 1989 when Alberta Williams, just 24 years old, was found dead 37 kilometers east of Prince Rupert, BC, along the notorious Highway of Tears. She had been sexually assaulted and there had been a violent struggle. She was covered with shrubs and debris when hikers found her, and to date, her killer has never been caught. Her case has gone unsolved longer than Alberta was alive. Investigators and the family believe they know who did it. It's a matter of gathering enough evidence to attain justice. Alberta had spent the summer working in a cannery in Prince Rupert, and she was studying in Vancouver and was ready to head back. A month before she would be found, she went out with her sister Claudia on August 25th, 1989. They were with a large group of people they knew, and Claudia decided to go home after a busy night after closing of the bar that they had been at, Popeyes or Bogey's Cabaret, in the Prince Rupert Hotel. These are two separate bars, but the names were used interchangeably by local folks. Something had told her to keep an eye on Alberta all night, and she did. But at the end of the night, Alberta headed off to a party and asked Claudia to go with her. The party was to be held at her uncle's house, Jack Little, at 144 Crestview. Claudia says she turned her head to say something to an ex-boyfriend, and when she turned her head back to speak to Alberta and the crowd of people she was with were already gone. She believes Alberta headed off to that party she had spoken of, but Jack denies having any party that night and told family members he never saw Alberta. Alberta never came home, and her parents would file a missing persons report on August 25th, 1989. Investigators and family believe that more than one person knows what happened to Alberta. More than one person has that key that could resolve this case and bring justice for this young woman. Jack, despite what he told his family, told police that he saw Alberta get into a black truck with a Caucasian man with long blonde hair, that they came to his house later that night but left, and he never saw them again. A nephew, who remained in a bedroom at Jack's house, backs up the idea that there were other people in the house that night, but he never came out to see who they were. His own brother, Doug Marsden, was also staying at the house that night. Little told police he spoke to a psychic and he felt that there had been a tragic accident. After Alberta's body was found, he moved hundreds of kilometers away to Port Alberni, BC. He is a suspect in the case, but of course is innocent until proven guilty, and he has never been charged. He has not cooperated further with police nor made himself available for any interviews, which is his right. However, nephew Doug says that Little did have a party that night and that Alberta was there. He was not contacted by RCMP for some 27 years or more. Others were there and saw Alberta with her Uncle Jack and another man the day after she was supposed to have disappeared in Terrace, BC. Alberta's cousins Yvonne and Amanda both saw the man, Alberta, and Jack together. Amanda would tell CBC that Alberta was intoxicated that Saturday and needed help to get back into the truck. Apparently, they were also not spoken to by RCMP. The cousins said that they recognized the man as Kathy's boyfriend, Ken Collinson. Kathy is one of Alberta's sisters, and he was driving cab in Terrace. CBC investigative reporters also found a man named Ed who confirmed that Alberta was with two men in a black truck. Jack was driving, Alberta was in the middle, and there was a white man in the passenger seat who was wanting to get back to his taxi shift. Collinson, who the CBC interviewed, is adamant that he was never with Jack and Alberta in Terrace. He also refused to give his DNA to police, which he is within his rights to do. They need to get a warrant for the DNA unless there's consent. He flicked a cigarette butt onto the ground during the CBC interview, though, and reporters did scoop that up. They sent it to a lab and they were able to extract a viable DNA sample, but that seems to be as far as it went. The RCMP will not say, because it would be trial evidence, whether or not DNA samples are available or whether they've obtained DNA through warrants. Like Little, Collinson is also innocent until proven guilty. Then there's Alberta's aunt, who said she received a call from an anonymous female who told her that Alberta had been dumped in the location where she was found off of Highway 16. Vera Derrick says that though the woman agreed to meet her in downtown Prince Rupert to give more details, she never showed up. There is her friend Teresa, who said that after the bar closed, Alberta left in a white work van with 2 white men. 2 others said that Alberta got into a black pickup truck with 3 white men after the bar closed. Claudia also talked to RCMP and the CBC about another man, one that had been bothering her all that summer, who demanded she get into his car with him. She says he was there at the bar that night and she ignored him, but then she saw Alberta talking with him in the bar that evening. She hasn't disclosed a name, which is appropriate in an open investigation. Because of CBC's podcast, a number of people came forward to RCMP to give them additional information, and the investigation is still open. To go deeper into this case, please listen to CBC's Missing and Murdered podcast by Connie Walker. She does an excellent job of getting out the details. The podcast is available on CBC's website and in other places where you can find podcasts, and you'll find a link below. CBC did not sponsor this video. If there is anything you know, any small piece of information that could help shine a light on this case, help bring it to a resolution for Alberta's family, please call the numbers you see at the bottom of your screen. It has been 34 years since Alberta was found, and it is long past time that this case was solved. Today, a cross stands at the site where Alberta had her last breath, erected there by her brother Francis as a remembrance, but also in the hope that it will help somebody with the solution and spark them to come forward. Thank you so much for listening.